talk about streamlining some of our workflows. In this example, I'm going to show you how to create a Google form. The results automatically feed to Sheets. And then we're going to use an add-on called FormMule to um, further automate these responses so that you're not trying to look through a Google Sheet to understand who's bringing what and who's coming. And so, yeah, that's what this example will cover today. What's so cool, though, is Google has just released what's called Google Workspace Studio. And it is very easy for you to streamline between Gmail, Docs, Sheets, all of the Google platforms. So this video might be replaced soon with that. I haven't had a chance to test and create some tutorials about Workspace Studio. But yeah, so at least for now, this is going to show you how to automate some of your workflow. In this example, I'm showing you how to create an RSVP form for, like, let's say a holiday potluck party. But you can apply this to really anything that you do. Let's say you've got a DJ business and you want someone to sign up and you need details from them and you want them to receive a receipt and for you to receive an email that someone has booked, or anything in your workflow. If you do travel arrangements for your company or organization. So take this as just kind of a general learning session and we'll go from there. So in this example, I've already created my RSVP form for our holiday potluck party. And I'm collecting some really basic information: full name, email address, cell phone, RSVP status, how many people might be coming, what kind of dish you'll be bringing, and then an explanation about your dish. So it's real basic. But what I do need to show you is that the responses are being tallied into a Google Sheet. When you first create a form, it is not linked, so you do need to link it to Sheets. When you do this, it's going to create a new spreadsheet for you in the same folder where your form is living, and it's going to call it responses, just so that you can see in Google Drive the difference between the form and the responses that you're collecting. So now we can see the RSVP responses sheet that I talked about. When somebody fills out the form, your data is going to be sent here. I need to talk about the privacy between everything. So your forms are always made public by link. So it's not public to the public. If someone's got the link, they can fill it out. So think that you can embed this in an email, you can embed this in a website, you can embed this a number of different ways. You can put it on social media, have people RSVP. Your sheets where the responses are sent are always private to you, just so you know where that data goes. If you haven't used Google Add-ons before, kind of the great way to think about it is the Google applications are very lean, so they come with basic functionality. And if you need additional functionality, you use an add-on. You want to make sure the add-on that you install is trusted and vetted, but so make sure you take some time to read the reviews or look into that company a little bit more instead of just installing them, or ask your local cybersecurity team to take a peek at the requirements of the add-on. But these extensions or add-ons add that additional functionality. And so it helps the product stay lean, but also you can install and use what you need. Again, with Google Workspace Studio coming out and Gemini being embedded in a lot of workspace extensions or applications, I should say, a lot of that information will be changing rapidly over the coming months. So I'll make some new videos about that. But the extension that I'm going to be using today is called FormMule. And your extensions live under the extensions menu. FormMule is found here for me. If you haven't used FormMule before or looked for an add-on before, you would go to extensions and get add-ons. And I'm just going to show you how I found FormMule. This is the icon you want to look for. It is made by New Visions for public schools, New Visions Cloud Lab. It's a trusted resource. I've been training on this extension for probably 9 years, if not more. So it's been a really great product. We've used it in a lot of public sector organizations like state government and national labs. So FormMule is fantastic. So I'm going to come here and go to FormMule and launch. We're going to just go ahead and set this up. When you first open FormMule, it's going to ask you where the data is living when somebody fills out a form. And it's always under Form Responses 1. The other caveat I need to say real quick before we move on, you need to have your form finalized, because once you make some changes to your form questions, it can get real messy as far as merging data. So you're doing all of this after you have finalized and you're ready to launch, okay? So the form trigger, you want this event, it's going to send an email, right? You want this event to happen when somebody submits the form. So I've turned form trigger on. If you want to do this at the end of the day or a certain date and time, you can set a time trigger. And if you want to log a case number for each submission or an edit URL, you can do that too. But I'm not setting that up in this example. There are some cases where you'll want to, as well as use their other add-on called Copy Down. I'm going to make a completely different video about that. So under the email merge utility, which is the next screen, how many unique email templates do I want to use? So you can add up to 15. Here's an example of why you would use more than one. Like, I'm just going to show you 2 as an example here. Let's say I'm using this for travel requests in my organization. And one of my questions is, which lab are you with, or which agency are you with? And depending on their answer, you can say, if they answered this question this way, then I want it to send the email to this group of people specifically. If you want me to go into a good use case for that, let me know in the comments below, and I'll make another video on crafting FormMule to do lots of other things for you. So for now, I want the email template for RSVP. I'll just leave it at RSVP. And I wanted to do this for every submission. So every time somebody fills out the form, I want them to get an email and me to get an email as well. So I need to save this, and then I can edit the template. So in the example I gave a second ago, where you could have various emails send based on a specific answer that somebody gives, when I'm customizing these templates, I have to choose between which template I am editing. So this is where you can streamline, all right, they filled out that they are with this agency or this lab, so I want that email to go to the group that manages that agency or that lab. In this example, we're just doing a holiday potluck RSVP, so I'm just going to leave this, I only have the one template that I'm working with. So here's where those fields are going to be implemented. If I want them to get an email based on their submission, I'm just going to click in the to field and then click the email address field, and it's going to populate that as something to merge. I want it to also come to me. So I'm just going to type my email address here. I also want to put my reply to as the email address in case they reply to that automatic message. And then for subject, I'm going to put RSVP holiday potluck party. And then you can craft a nice welcoming message. Now you can just take and click on each of the fields that you have in your form, and it's going to populate them into the body of the email. Anything that is being merged is contained in these caret tags. So as you can see here, we've got your full name, and then in carets, your full name. So it's going to pull the data that they fill out from that form. And so if I hit save and preview, this is what my email is going to look like when they receive it and when I when I get my copy as well. So that's a quick and easy way that you can launch FormMule to do some automation for you from a form. What I recommend before you launch this to your participants is fill it out on your own as a test and make sure that that email says what you want it to say. I'm just going to hit close here. If I need to come back and edit this, I can just come to extensions, FormMule, and I can build or preview the templates again, or I can set different conditions, things like that. But again, word of caution, if you edit your questions at all, if you edit your sheet at all, you probably need to reset up FormMule because those merge tags change. So anyway, I hope that information helped. Please comment below if you want me to go into a certain area of FormMule or you want to see something particular about it. And if you want to see Google Workspace Studio when it's rolled out, I think it's going to be really game changing in how we streamline our workflows.